Well, if you've been driving long enough, there's a good chance you've developed some bad habits when you're on the road.
Yeah, things like tailgating, speeding, maybe rolling through stop signs.
I don't do any of those things.
No way. But they all can really become second nature if you keep doing them over and over again. So as Tony shows us in today's Behind the Wheel, it is never too late to change your ways.
So I've been driving for decades, many decades, but I still like to improve. And for me, one way I can do that is to make a conscious effort to execute the basics of driving perfectly. For me, that starts with adjusting my rear view mirrors. They should be set so you can barely see your own car. The less of your car you see, the more mirror space you have to see the other cars around you. Another thing I like to do is to leave a big space cushion between my car and all the cars around me. The basic idea here is pretty simple. The farther you are away from other cars, the less likely you are to crash into them. For example, when you're coming to a stop in traffic, make sure you are far enough behind the car stopped in front of you to see where its tires touch the road. That gap will prevent you from hitting that car if you're hit from behind. And finally, when I was learning to drive, we were always told to keep our hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, as if it were a big clock. But that was before we had airbags. Today, the recommendation is 9 and 3. That allows the airbag to deploy safely without having your arms or hands in the way. For that same reason, it's better to shuffle the wheel through your hands when you're making a turn rather than going hand over hand, which would obstruct the airbag if it were being deployed. So the way I see it, we don't learn to drive just once. We learn to drive every time we drive. If you think about it that way and really try to focus on doing the basics perfectly, it'll make you a better driver. I'm Tony Martinez, Fox 12 Oregon. That mirror thing is weird because I'll be in my car and I'm pretty fastidious about checking my mirrors. Yeah. But it'll be different, and I don't know why. It's like, am I getting taller or shorter? Right. But I'm always like adjusting them a little bit.
Or somebody went by your car a little too closely and knocked it out of position.
What about the safety issues as far as like answering trivia questions while driving? Is that?
I asked you first if you were comfortable thinking and driving. You said you were, and you did quite well. You probably drove better than you normally do.
So concentrating.
Last week's episode.
Great information.
Yeah,
good information.
Always good. Let's go.